Okay, quality control. So this is sort of a convoluted slide, a lot of details, so I won't get too into the weeds on each item, but I'll try to stay high level with it. But our construction team has a very integrated and pretty detailed quality assurance, quality control program that we set forth really throughout the entire bid process, through procurement and buyout, and through the construction process. So each bullet is just kind of a tidbit of what we do. But the first bullet, scope generation, scope review meetings. So even when we get the CD package, we sit down as a team and understand how we want to dissect it, how we want to scope it out, for lack of a better term, which is really understanding which detail is going to be assigned to which contractor. So we ensure that through those scope documents that we are assigning every detail in this building to a subcontractor, so that there are no scope gaps, there's no unforeseen conditions, no unforeseen costs. So that's a very extensive effort that takes 6 to 10 weeks. And that occurred basically from the Thanksgiving timeframe through the first of the year. The second bullet is pool plan scheduling. So it's a scheduling method that heavily involves our resources, who are the subcontractors in this case. We ask them to come forth with their knowledge and their understanding of their scope of work to help influence our overall schedule. So what we give them is kind of a big picture milestone schedule and say, your activity needs to start on date A and end on date B. And then it's up to them to determine how they're going to get there. And what that does is really garner the buy-in and kind of it gets them excited about the work and gets them understanding their work and how they need to coordinate it on their end and internally. The third bullet here, so BIM modeling, MEP coordination. So we go through an extensive coordination process with the MEP contractors, so mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and then as well as fire suppression. What this is basically a 3D rendering of the project that we sit down and we kind of layer with all the different utilities to ensure that we are ironing out any clashes or utility conflicts way ahead of time, so that we don't get in the field and realize we have an issue and then work stops and cost starts to run up. So all that is ironed out ahead of time. So the next slide, so open space software. So this is a software that we utilize pretty regularly. It's basically for lack of a better term, a Google Street View of the project itself. It's a very powerful tool in terms of as-built construction. So what it is basically a camera on your hard hat. You walk around, it takes a continuous video that is uploaded to an AI software basically. And you can go back and look at each video from any point in the building on any date and realize, hey, we were at this point during that time frame. You can look at in-wall utility, in-wall blocking. Again, anything that gets covered up, it's a very valuable resource to go back and understand what's in that wall or in that ceiling condition. So we will be using that software on this project. Third-party inspections. So the third-party inspection agency is contracted directly with Upper Arlington. It's their responsibility to come out and review fire-rated details, structural details, ensure that they are constructed per plan and spec. Commissioning agent review and inspections is an agency that is hired by MSA in this case. MOTS is going to be the MEP engineer, as well as Maze for the envelope. And they're, again, very similar to the third-party inspection, just ensuring that everything is built per plan and spec. So there's multiple inspections, multiple layers of inspections, just to kind of, again, ensure that we are building per plan and spec and nothing is varying. Pre-installation meetings, mock-ups, first work reviews. This is really a series of meetings that allow the CM and the AE the opportunity to ensure that work is occurring, again, per plan and spec, to be redundant. I keep going back to that, but it's critical in a lot of different instances. Material delivery inspection. So as material arrives to the job site, it's the constructions team responsibility to review that material before it hits the ground, ensure that it is per plan and spec, as well as all the approved submittals that we have on the project. And then a running incomplete and non-conforming list via our project documentation software, which is Procore. So again, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just an ongoing list of any of our observations, any of our inspections on a daily basis that are consolidated in that platform, and on a daily basis spit out to all the subcontractors and reminding them of the work that is non-conforming.